This time I'd like to call the meeting to order, Northampton County Board of Commissioners, this Monday, July the 18th, 6 p.m. The Board of Commissioners have an obligation by law and statute to meet and to take care of the business for Northampton County. We do know that as we meet for a purpose. We meet because we want to make Northampton County, as we all say, make Northampton County all it can possibly be. We do know that we do have a mission statement. We try not to start any of our meeting, whether it's open or whether it's closed session, without understanding what our mission is. Our mission is to make sure we serve with honesty and integrity, and as we provide the central services in our county, we want to do it as efficient as we possibly can, effective as we can, because we are accountable to citizens of our county. I just kind of phrase that in my own words, but you see it on the wall behind me. Our mission statement. We also have a vision statement. That is what we want to see happen in our county. What we do today will certainly affect tomorrow, next year, even 50 years from now. So we do know that we have the obligation to make sure we do all we can to grow our county and to provide the kinds of services for our citizens that they are so deserving of. At this time, I would like to have a moment of silence. If you all would join us in a moment of silence at this time. Thank you so much. At this time, we'd like for you to stand, if you would, and repeat with me the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board members, you have before you the approval of the agenda for this evening. Are there any things that you'd like to add or subtract from this agenda? You've had the opportunity to look at this agenda. We would like to have you to know that you have a final say in whether we use this agenda as it is or whether we add or subtract. What is your pleasure about the agenda?
Make a motion. Chairman Town, I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented. Second.
Moved and properly second that we would approve the agenda as presented. Any questions, any discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by the usual sign aye.
Aye, Buffalo. Aye, Faulkner. Aye, Boone.
Aye, Turner. Ayes have it, motion is carried. At this time, we shall ask for you to please note there is a conflict of interest statement. I'm going to ask my vice chair if she will read that for me at this time.
In accordance with the rules and procedures adopted by this board in section 153A44 of the North Carolina General Statutes, it is the duty of every member present to vote on all matters coming before the board, unless there is a conflict of interest as determined by the board or by law. Does any board member have a conflict of interest with respect to any agenda item coming before the board today? If so, identify the conflict and the board will consider the matter.
Commissioner Buffalo?
No conflict. No conflict. No conflict, Faulkner.
No conflict. Okay. Since we have no conflict, we can continue on. As I look, I do not see our auditor present at this time. Did you?
Should be online.
He's online. Okay. If you will get our auditor online at this time.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I certainly can.
All right, awesome. So Mr. Stuart Hill from our office came at the first meeting in May and presented the audit. Nothing really has changed at this point from that, but because we needed an SKE to sign off on the audit, an SKE be skills, knowledge, and expertise in auditing matters outside of our firm. We just submitted the audit about a week and a half ago. And to be in complete compliance, I needed to appear before you again or talk to you again and basically say, all the findings are the same as they were at that May meeting. None of the numbers changed. And as you can, if you remember from that meeting, you know, the general fund balance and cash, both in the 5 years presented, had increased significantly. So, and I think the manager had informed me that y'all were waiting on the audit to get presented and or submitted to the LGC in order to have some USDA debt move forward. And to my knowledge, everything that we need to do has been accomplished with the local government commission. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm very grateful that y'all allow me to be here tonight via Zoom. And anytime any one of you has any questions, you're always free to give me a call. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. We appreciate you. We appreciate you finally finishing our audit. Finally, we thank you. We really do thank you. And we appreciate your patience with us. We've been patient with you. Our new county manager will be working with you now, as I was. He'll be working with you along with our finance people and trying to come up with those things in the audit report that needed some corrections or some things that we need to improve on. They will be the ones that will be working to get that done, and perhaps they'll be asking you questions. Board members, do any of y'all have any questions you all need to ask? We know that our audit has gone to Raleigh, passed, and we're good to go, and that will speed up our relationship with USDA on the phase 6 water. That will help us in that area. And that will also help us because the $3 million for the housing that HUD's going to give us also was waiting for that audit report likewise. So the audit report was important for us in moving forward and doing the things that we need to get done. Are there any questions you all need to ask at this time?
No question. No questions.
Okay, it does not need, we don't need a motion on this. It's just an update of where we are. And, we all understand that we're up to date with our audit. We just got a county manager work on the one that's going to be due again in October. Okay, so please work on that and come back with recommendations of what you want to do in that in that area. Thank you again, Mr. Thompson. We appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And number 6 is the appointment of clerk to the board, to the commissioners. We do know that there are only 2 positions that we have authority to vote on and give a person a job. And that position is county manager. And clerk to the board. Our county manager works with us. The person who working with us with the clerk to the board also is the county manager's. I won't say secretary, but administrative assistant, whatever you want to call her. And I could not, while I was in that seat, to name that person. I thought it would be good that we would have our county manager to recommend that person, because that person works more closely with him, just as close with him as you do for the county commissioners. So really what we're doing is by law, am I right? By law, we have to approve that position. But I want you to hear from our county manager, because he's the one who's given me the go ahead. He's ready to do it because of the fact when we do not have one in place, they're lacking the training. We need to send them to get the training they need, so they'll be able to function fully as they need to as clerk to the board. Along with training, they need to be even his administrative assistant. So that's one of the reasons why we bring it to you right now, is because we need that person to be trained. And right now, the training is beginning for the year, and we need to make sure that our clerk to the board is fully trained and meet all the statutory requirements. Our county manager, will you have any?
Well, I'll just add briefly that I've worked with Ms. Robinson for the last 4 months, and she's performed her job, stellar performance. I can just basically say that she is my right-hand man in that office, getting things done and keeping us organized and up to date on things that need to be done within the office and in the county, and making sure that we're doing things right. And I like to say, keeping us out of the funny pages. So I would fully recommend her without a doubt for this position.
But board members, you've heard the county manager. He's the one who's got to work with whoever. I would ask if you would, I would entertain a motion if you all are ready to accept his recommendation as we have a clerk to the board. All of you know that we started out with another person being clerk to the board. Because of illness, she was not able to fulfill that obligation. And so that's how we had her to come and here to come and be work with me. It was me then, and making sure that we could continue to do things in order. So you're hearing that. What is your recommendation? Let me stop there. What is your recommendation?
Chairman Town, I make a motion that we appoint clerk to the board, Ms. Atia Robinson, as recommended by our county manager, Mr. Phillips. He noted that she is his right-hand woman, not man, but right-hand woman.
Man, y'all want to
She's
be
been
wrong.
handling that position well,
I
so
want to be wrong.
I make that recommendation.
Second before.
Moving proper second, that we will have Tia Robinson to be our clerk to the board. Are there any questions, any discussion?
Point of clarification, the previous person was an interim assignment, so we had not had an official clerk to the board in some time.
Any other question or discussion? All in favor, let know by huge sign aye.
Aye, Buffalo. Aye, Faulkner.
Hi, Boone.
Aye, Tanner, ayes have it, motion is carried. Congratulations, Tia. that position and thanking you for all the hard work you're doing for Northampton County. As a young person, you can certainly, we can certainly have longevity in you and years with you if you so desire to continue to stay with the county. Thank you, County Manager, for your coming up with the recommendation of who you like to see in that position. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all continue to work together and most of all, continue to keep us informed. Those things that you know that we need, we don't need to be informed of all of them, but we need to be informed of those things as you're already doing. We thank you for all that you're doing. Board members, we'll be having a retreat where we can talk to the county manager and IT about expectations for the board members, even those that's not written, or it's unwritten, okay? At this time, let us continue on. We'd like to have our ever-lowering tax appeals. Mason, our tax director.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am before you this evening to obtain the board's approval to release or refund ad valorem taxes in the amount of $220.40. There is a list in here of property owners who have requested that I appeal to the board on their behalf. The Board of Commissioners have the authority to grant, release, or refund due to any of the following reasons: a tax imposed through clerical error, an illegal tax, or a tax levied for an illegal purpose. It is my recommendation that the Board of Commissioners approve the request for release or refund for the ad valorem tax appeals in the amount of $220.40.
Board members, what is your pleasure?
Make a motion that we approve the request for release or refund of ad valorem taxes for two appeals totaling $220.40.
Second.
Moving proper second, we will refund these tax to these two persons. Yeah, persons who come before us, names have come before us tonight. Are there any questions or any discussion? If not, all in favor, let it know by you, just sign aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
I Faulkner.
Aye, Boone.
Aye, Turner, ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you so much. Okay, continue on.
Okay, I'm also before you for ad valorem motor vehicles to obtain the board's approval for 12 appeals in the amount of $1,107.94. Again, there's a listing of homeowners, of taxpayers who've asked me to come before you on their behalf. The Board of Commissioners has the authority to grant or refund for the following three reasons: a tax imposed through clerical error, an illegal tax, and a tax levied for an illegal purpose.
Thank you. Board members, you have the list of names and amount of monies that we want to refund our taxpayers. For some reasons, we have to refund them. Are there any question? If not, let me entertain a motion.
Chairman John, I make a motion that we approve the refunds to the citizens in the amount of $1,107.94.
Okay. Second,
Second, Buffalo.
moving properly second, that we would refund citizens $1,107.94. Any questions, any discussion? Not all in favor, let know by you, just sign aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
I Faulkner.
I Boone.
Aye, Charles Turner, ayes have, motion is carried. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Next one we have on the agenda, Ms. Clemens. Ms. Clemens, will you please come forward? She's going to talk about the approval of maintenance of voting machine. Good evening.
Okay, so just to give a little background, prior to the 2020 elections, contracts for the maintenance of the voting equipment were actually available on terms of one 3 and 5 years. Now, agreements have to be renewed every year. Since the termination of our last contract, we have actually acquired a different voting system, the DS-200s, which we do not have as many of them as we had as the previous voting equipment. So before you, there is a contract of $22,738.79 to cover 20 DS-200 tabulators and 25 AutoMark devices, which are the ADA accessible equipment that are used on election day. It covers the software, the hardware, and the firmware.
Board members? Any questions about this? Any questions about this contract? Let me ask you one.
Put it first.
Okay, Commissioner Edwards is now with us. Okay, good evening, Commissioner Edwards.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Good evening to all.
Good. Glad you could join us. At this time, we're at the contract for our voting machines, maintenance for our voting machine, Mr. Edwards, on the agenda. So at this time, we have the contract before us. I'm going to ask at this time for a motion if you feel we need a motion at this time. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Second. Question? Yes.
On the contract control sheet, the county attorney said revisions necessary, yes, and revisions made. So what was,
The addition of the addendum was added to the contract.
You see is the final.
Comparing to last year, is this more or less?
It has actually gone down, but it went down because we have less.
Okay,
We
machines,
have fewer tabulators, yes, sir.
so it's gone down.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I know the county manager's glad to note that you have some monies left in your department, your area. He can move to another area if he needs to. I could, are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? Oh, this is the second night, the last meeting, we had the same thing come up about saving some money in the county, and we're able to save some monies, and I think that's just great. When everything else is going up, everything else is up. Anywhere we can save $1, it certainly help. Are there any other questions? Another
no
question?
question.
Okay, all in favor, let know by usual sign aye.
I Faulkner.
Hi, Boone.
Ayes
Hi,
have it.
Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Citizens, I did not say to you, if you desire to speak before this board, there's on that table over there, form that you need to fill out if you desire to speak before the board. If there's anybody who desire to do so, I'll give you a chance now to fill out that form because I didn't inform you when you came in. But of course, most of you already know because you you've been here. Okay. We do have one. Ms. Garner, will you please come forward? The county attorney, will you give her the rules? She already know because she's been down here. And she all know what they are, but we just do it to make sure we do what we need to do. Just give 1 minute to our.
Yes, sir, Chairman Tyner. So this board has allotted a 5-minute maximum for public comments. If you have any questions of the board, you'll receive a subsequent response from county staff. The board will not respond or otherwise engage in a dialogue with you tonight. And the board, this forum is allotted for citizen comments as allowed under the North Carolina law. This is an open forum. This is not an open forum for you to be publicly critical of the board or county staff, so we ask you to be respectful of the forum. Thank you very much.
Sir,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yes.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Commissioner Chairman Tyner, Vice Chair Mrs. Faulkner, Commissioner Buffalo, Commissioner Boone, Commissioner Dr. Edwards, County Manager, and citizens and staff of Northampton County. My name is Ruby Vincent Garner, and my address is 649 NC Highway 46 in Gaston. And I'm approaching you again regarding the broadband need in our area. I was here June of last year, and I presented a request for broadband in the community. And on that time, I was assigned a rep to work with me by the name of Carl Schibner, I believe, and that wasn't successful. And he met with Reverend Flood and me regarding the broadband in our community. That wasn't successful. And then I think I was assigned to Reverend Williams to with the project. And he and I talked, and he also had me to be on the advisory board for the Upper Coastal Plain advisory board. And we met, I think, the 1st of March, 2022. And we were supposed to meet again in June 22, but nothing happened. I was also here last month on the 14th of June for your meeting. And at that time, I believe Chairman Tyner told me that I would know something in 30 days. Today is the 19th of July. And the 14th of July, I hadn't heard anything, so I'm back again. And we're desperate in need of broadband, as you know, in our community. I was on a Zoom meeting the other day, and I had drop calls. So there is a desperate need for broadband in my community. So I'm approaching you again, asking for your consideration and getting us broadband in my community. And also last meeting, I presented a petition to Dr. Edwards, who's a rep from my area, and I don't know what happened with that. So thank you for listening. May God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming again
Thank you.
before us. We hear you. We hear you. Okay. Were there another? If not, at this time, County Manager, is there anything that you'd like to say this evening?
Excuse me, not a whole lot. Just want to thank citizens and staff for coming out tonight. Always appreciative of your interest in what's going on in the county and your support. Thank you.
Thank you, County Manager. We appreciate it. At this time, we hear from our county, from our board members. Buffalo.
Good evening. I just want to ask the citizens, the Northampton County Veterans Advisory Commission, we are planning the luncheon in November for our veterans, but we're also asking the citizens, if you have any veterans in your family or you know of a neighbor who is a veteran, would you please ask them if they would submit a photo of themselves as a veteran with their rank, years of service, because we'd like to highlight them on the Veterans Commission's website and also on a video that we're working on as well. If you need to send it, you can send it to joyce.buffalo@nhcnc.net or to Miss Itea Robertson, our clerk to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. This time, Mr. Edwards,
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
any comments you want to make at this time?
Just want to thank everyone for coming out and please continue to stay safe as in some areas, different variants are still rising from the pandemic. So please stay safe. That's all my comments, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you. All right, Ms. Boone.
I don't have any comments, Chairman Tyner, other than just to echo Commissioner Edwards, but also be on the alert regarding monkeypox to our citizens. just watch, your proximity, and just be diligent in staying focused on your own personal health and the health of your family members. And those are my comments.
Thank you, Commissioner Boone. At this time, Vice Chairman.
Good evening. On Wednesday, July the 27th, from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. at the Richburg Creasy Center's Gymnasium, the USDA will offer a second session workshop for citizens who may be in the need of single-family housing repair for both loans or grants if they're elderly, which is 62 years and over, as far as the USDA is concerned. Very low income homeowners to remove any health or safety violations. So, and some people have asked, do you have to live in Rich Square to attend the session? No, you do not. It is just being hosted there by the efforts of Ms. Commissioner Buffalo and some of the citizens in the county to pull together to bring it to another community. It was held at the Wellness Center about a month ago, a few weeks ago. And it's low interest loans or grants. And it wouldn't hurt people to come to hear it and find out what can be done to help them, especially if they have issues in their home. And if you know of an elderly person or a person who's on a very low income and they need some assistance, and you know that you can talk to them and share, please share. But some of those people are not on social media. They're not connected to the internet so that they can even see what's on a web page. So word of mouth is still a very valid and reliable source. So if you know someone, share. If you know organizations, pastors in your church, people that individuals usually reach out for when they need help, to make sure that they make them aware of that opportunity. And it's Reginald Spate, the State Director for Rural Development, USDA, and Shirlene Alexander, Single Family Housing Specialist, who's also the Direct Loan Coordinator. I've also been working with it's basically a credit union, self-help credit union. There used to be one in Roanoke Rapids on 10th Street, but I think it's kind of across from where AAA's space is. And they closed that branch, but they're still very active in North Carolina. They receive a lot of grant funding. At one point, they received a lot from the Golden Leaf Foundation. And they're planning a homeowners session for individuals with troubled credit, no credit, or just having difficulties with buying a home. And the first interest session will be a Zoom session. So we're waiting on that final date. But the person who was the manager at the Roanoke Rapids office is actually helping facilitate bringing that to Northampton. So just wanted people to be aware that we know rooftops and housing, and I hear a lot of stories of people who are losing their homes or kind of made it through COVID with some of the help assistance from the federal government, and now those rent payments are due, and they don't have it. So if you know people like that, trying to get off Section 8 housing and get into their own house that they will eventually own, and they offer a lot of opportunities, and self-help helps businesses and homeowners. So and charter schools, they actually help in those areas with funding resources for them. So just want everyone to know that we are looking for every possible way to help our citizens. There are some things we cannot do as a county, but we can help spearhead the conversations. And that's what we're working on. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to make sure I got that right.
Wednesday, July the 27th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Helping people. That's what we do. Helping our citizens, Northampton County. There are several things that kind of that I need to mention that we need to know in our county. When you go to the website, you will see that many job vacancies. That's more than we've ever had before in every department. I need to say that our county cannot be any better and employees help make our county. I say to, reason I'm saying that to you, if you know of anybody who'll be interested in working county government in any department, please have them to fill out an application, get in touch with our human resource department. It's kind of disturbing in that area about us not having the workforce that we need to carry out the things that we'd like to see done. So I invite you to please go to our website and you will see those vacancies. It is astonishing the numbers we got in North Atlantic, highest it ever been. Please help us to fulfill that. We've done much. Our new county manager has done much in pay incentives for all employees. He's also looking again in January, another 2%. I think that is, am I right? 2.5%. 2.5%. And for all employees, again in January. I want to say to you that we're not letting our standards down. Standards are still the same. We just need qualified people who know what they're doing. Not by name, folks, who you are, you've been in the county, not, we talking about people who can come in here and get the job done in any department. Come in and go to work. No substitute for a good worker who can come in and get the job done. Need to say that to you. Also have some good news that we have been, we have gotten in touch with HUD about our housing. You all know we supposed to have them houses up, but because of USDA, not USDA, because of Representative Butterfield deciding to give us the $3 million for the housing, but it is going through HUD. HUD sent us a letter saying that in 30 days, they will send us what we need, perhaps money. So by that time, I should have the county manager have the developer who's going to develop it. We know what about the monies and all of that. But I want y'all to know, we keep saying houses. Houses is what we need in North Atlantic County, folks. I'm telling you, folks have nowhere to live. That ought to be a priority for us right now. What use of us recruiting anybody to come back to North Atlantic County and they can't find a place to live? What's the use in recruiting people to come just out of college? They might not stay here, but they don't want to come because they have nowhere to live. We just got to do some housetops. So I just want you to know we're working on that. I mean, we're working. Government operates slow. Ms. Garner, I want to tell you that. We operate, but we're getting there. It operates slow, and it's not on my pace, on my pace. It is that they on their own pace, and we're working on that. And we're working on so many things that we're working on, but it just takes time for us to get it all done. I do know that we'll continue to work on our courthouse, and I asked the man today when the man gonna move some dirt. Told me again, it'll probably be Friday or Monday. I don't know. Don't hold me to it because I'm not the contractor. But at any rate, he's supposed to be there. The steel is here, and all the other things that they need to do, all the other permits, they got them. So we want you to know that is underway. I also asked the question, does that mean a delay in when we'll get in the building? They said no. This will not delay. They will make up the time. Okay. Those are the things that I have this evening that I want to share with you that I know that's important to us. We know that we are doing some things at the Creases site. Some things we got to get done. And you hear more about those as we move along. We're waiting for an engineer at the Creases site to come and tell us about that electrical problem we have there, water in the basement. There's a time that one is coming. Engineers, architects are hard to find now. See, it's not happening here, but when you leave Northampton County and go to even Roanoke Rapids, or even go to Rocky Mount, and don't say nothing about going on up to Nassau County, on up to Wake County. Boy, they are really busy. Everybody building, everybody's improving things. So it's kind of hard for us to have our architect come exactly when we want them, but architect is on board for that. And I think, County Manager, I need to probably say something about the prison. I think I'll be to let you know that likewise, we're waiting for that architect to give us all we need to do, all we got to do for that facility.
That's right.
And how long have we got to wait now?
Said 120 days.
120 days. Okay, 120 days. And you can't do anything, folks, without an architect and the engineer. Just can't do it. I mean, we can say we want to do this and do this. But public facilities, you gotta have that architect, you gotta have that engineer. But it's coming. How many days already passed? We
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
3 weeks, okay. Well, we're working on it. Slow process, but we're working on it. Okay? We also heard from, how about water?
Phase 6.
A6.
Let's have another meeting soon.
Okay,
Discuss that.
okay, will do. And with that phase 6, there's some additional places that we plan to include in that phase 6, once we ever get it back. He told me it'd be August that they will be ready to go to work, but he's busy too, but he's got the contract and we're just waiting on. Okay? Trying to bring you up to things that I know all the citizens should know and be aware of. Those are the things that I have, unless someone else have another. If not, I'll entertain a motion if we go home, or that we go in closed session. Yes.
Chairman, time to make a motion that we enter into closed session regarding GS 143-318-11A6 for personnel, A3 for attorney-client privilege, and A4 EDC report.
Second.
Moving proper second, we go into closed session. All in favor, let know by you sign aye.
I, Faulkner.
Hi, Edwards.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming tonight. We appreciate it. Our meetings will not, we try not to have them very long, get to where we're going and so we can keep moving. Thank you so much. Have any questions, feel free to contact any of us that you so need to.
Yes, ma'am.